Welcome to Chaotic Harmony. My name is Jon.
This is Crystal. We talk about the joys and the challenges of teaching music in the elementary school classroom.
We share struggles, we brainstorm solutions.
And we would love to have you join us. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Season 5 of Chaotic Harmony.
Season 5. Wild stuff.
I know.
Episode 83.
83. I know. We're going to hit 100.
We will.
We're going to do it this year. So to those of you who've been listening for 5 seasons now, 5 years, thank you for coming on this journey with us.
It's been such a change, like as far as going from being out of your out into your backyard and then into your house.
We've
long
learned,
travel.
I know. We've traveled 12 feet.
Yeah.
We've learned a lot.
Yeah.
We've grown a lot as teachers and as humans.
And also as podcasters.
It's so true.
I was such an Akko-Taco. Still am an Akko-Taco, but like it's at least a little more polished, a little more seasoning, maybe like, brazened, but
So thank you. You're the best. We love you. We have some really exciting things planned for this year.
Certainly. And also we plan for, well, actually, before we even get to that, first off, to you who watch on YouTube, let us know, do you appreciate our faces? Do you appreciate our faces?
How important is it to you to see our faces? That's what we want to know.
We're being partially facetious, but also partially real, because we're thinking of trying a few new things as far as how we record. We're trying to think how to make these more streamlined. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, right.
So let us know. I'm curious.
We're trying to make the podcast more doable for us because we're 2 people.
Yeah.
And Bryan makes 3. So we're just trying to make this something that's doable for us to keep up. So if the video is really important, we'll keep making it happen. But if you could do without it and go audio only, let us know if you have feelings either way on that.
Let me know if you have feelings in general.
That's true.
That would be helpful.
We can receive your feelings. We're here for you.
Well, if they have no feelings, we can't receive them.
That's true.
Yeah, so.
Also, we're so happy for you guys that we've started the school year.
Yeah.
Welcome back to school. This is the first week of school for most of the country.
This is the first, I feel like, well, how has it been?
It's been an interesting, slow rollout for everyone. So I'm watching all my friends go back to school, but you should know that Jonathan and I are sitting here talking about how Q1 is almost over for us.
Yeah, this is week 7.
7, yes.
6.5, I guess, because we started a little awkwardly, but yes, essentially.
Yeah. We've seen kids for almost an entire quarter now.
Yeah.
So we're rolling.
We're rolling.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll probably get to that.
We'll get to that. So we're going to do a catch up. This is a catch up episode. We're going to tell you what we were up to professionally over the summers.
Indeed.
We're going to tell you our teeny tiny itty bitty summer of like 4.5 weeks. But
teeny weeny beanie.
If you don't know what that is, Google that.
Yeah, whatever.
Teeny weeny beanie.
I put that on myself. So yeah, how we did our summer.
Right. We'll talk about our summer, then we'll talk about the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
And set some intentions. Talk about our systems and our and what's going well and what we're doing differently.
And our goals and hopes.
And dreams. Dreams. Exactly. Okay, Jonathan.
How was your summer?
I was going to ask you that.
Well, I beat you to it.
You did. It was really good.
Good.
Yeah, I packed a lot into it. Caught up with the family. We went and had a lot of fun together. We got a puppy. And she's looking at us with her eyes right now.
She's staring at us.
Very sad that she can't come chew on all the cables.
She came last time, right? When Mark came last episode.
Yes.
But
that's true. Yeah. That's true. So my whole summer was taking care of my puppy.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Well, not my whole summer, because for a few days of my summer, I got to fly out to Washington, D.C.
Okay. How was that?
It was humid. They have weather there. Like actual weather. Yeah. Like we don't really have weather. We like to pretend we have weather.
We have warm and then more warm.
I forget to check my weather app because it's going to be some version of sunny and 70 most of the time, right?
Except for last week.
Well, but even then
it kind of
was like super hyped up that we were going to have a hurricane hit San Diego, and then the wind was like poof, and that was it. And it was like sprinkle.
It is worth noting though, just because if like this is not common, and
it's true.
Well, why is that?
People were like,
maybe
oh my
we should be concerned about that.
Precipitation. Oh, yeah. Well, we won't go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, back to DC. So I stepped out of the airport and I was like, ooh. oh my gosh, because
You're
it was like
in water.
Yes, it was. You could breathe the air. You could just like karate slice it.
Karate slice. I love it.
Yeah, like and take a chunk of air.
I love when I got my black belt at karate slice. So much things.
Just slice the air in DC. It was something. The reason I was there, my school just became last year a turnaround art school.
Okay, cool.
It is a program that was started by Michelle Obama, and it's based on the huge body of research that shows that when schools get lots of arts, they turn around. They, so underperforming schools get better results when you give the kids more arts. We're already doing a lot as far as the arts are concerned, but this is just going to give us more access to teaching artists, funding, opportunities.
Cool.
More cool stuff for the kids.
And correct me if I'm wrong, and I apologize, Mark. I apologize because I know his former school.
Yeah, Montgomery.
Right,
they're a turnaround art school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I remember correctly from when Mark was talking about it, it's not just helping the arts teachers, but also integrating arts with the whole school. Exactly.
Right. It's not just on the arts specialist teachers, which I'm so grateful for. It's meant to be a whole school strategy. So it's about how can we integrate the arts in every subject. So there's all this professional development for the classroom teachers so that they can plan art strategies. And then there's also outreach strategies for the community. How do we get the families more involved with the life of the school?
Cool.
It's really great. I'm excited about it. So I got to go to Washington, D.C. to the Kennedy Center's 2023 Arts Education Conference. Okay. And it was amazing.
Cool.
I go to a lot of conferences.
You do?
I do.
You fans.
I know. Well, you have to seek out specialized professional development as a music teacher, right?
You do.
And especially as an elementary music teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a topic for later on, like the necessity to seek out, not just for like embedding yourself as a teacher or as a professional, but also as a means of like uplifting a community, like Mega Arts over in San Diego. It's like, for me, it's been really great. I perceived it very differently when I was younger because I learned a lot, but now it's more like I go because I want to make sure that the art stays alive, even if I'm like at a different point in my teaching career. It's a way of like, hey, arts are here, you know,
right?
kind of, so,
and we're gonna support it, right? Well,
there's so many facets of why we do what we do.
Absolutely, conferences, like the learning that you do there is really special. Yeah. But it's almost secondary to the relationships that you make with the other attendees because you're all there for the same purpose. Yeah. What was neat about the Kennedy Center conference was that I've been to a lot of music conferences, but this was one where not everybody was a music teacher. It was actually kind of rare to run into another music teacher. I talked to art teachers, drama teachers, principals, other admin. I talked to gen ed teachers from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. And it was amazing. I loved it. We'd had so much to talk about, and every session that we went to was about how to simultaneously pursue arts standards alongside gen ed standards in the same lesson. It was beautiful. Really well done.
And it seems like those who went to this event are people who are advocates already of the arts. Is that accurate?
100%.
Okay, cool. Because like I know whenever you talk to a gen ed teacher, you don't know what you're gonna get. You might get someone who is very much supportive of the arts. You might get someone who is very focused on their four walls. Yeah. And it's cool. That's great. That's great. It's really great to hear.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who want to work as a team to get more arts to more kids. So it was really beautiful. I loved it. My favorite session, well, I went to a lot, but I went to a really great one about puppetry in the classroom, which was really fun.
I feel like that spoke to you.
It did. For those of you who are new here.
New listeners. We've been around for 5 years.
We have. You know? We've got a lot of podcasts to catch up on. My parents are puppeteers, so I grew up surrounded by puppets and creativity and lovely chaos.
Also, if you want to find out more, you can listen to episode 1.
You can go back in time and you can hear our origin stories.
In a life before COVID.
Oh my gosh. We have had so much happen to us through the course of this podcast, you guys. Yeah. Welcome, by the way, if you're new. We're glad you're here. Okay, so back to the Kennedy Center. So got to hear from puppeteers and then I went to a really great storytelling one that talked about how to use different parts of your voice to voice different characters. It was very practical, and I feel like I'm going to use it. Right. And then there was another one I went to that was great about drama strategies in the classroom to make your teaching more engaging, because really we're kind of on stage all day as teachers.
Yeah,
it totally
very much so.
We have to engage the audience. And then my favorite one was by Imani Gonzalez, and it was storytelling through the blues. So she gave this master class in the history of blues music, and then had us write our blues, and the stuff that came out of the teachers and administrators. It was like a group therapy session. It was so emotional and so beautiful.
When you say write your blues, like expound. Yeah, curious.
I mean, she left it really open ended.
What did you write then?
What did I write?
Yeah.
The almost burned out teacher blues. It just
what's that about?
I mean,
I don't understand. What's that?
Right. It was long. It was long, and I feel like I just needed to get it out. You know, we've had a lot of hard over the last few years, and it's really, I feel a heaviness in my colleagues that hasn't lifted entirely.
Yeah,
and it's a struggle. There are a lot of people leaving the profession, and we've got to figure out how to find the joy in our jobs again, and how to find something resembling balance. So yeah, it felt good to get it out, but it also felt really good to be like, I could lead kids through this. And I was sitting right next to the 6th grade teacher who came with us from our school. I went with one of my 6th grade teachers and with my principal.
Cool.
And we had so much fun together. Cool. And then we got to sightsee in DC. But he got just as much out of it, and is totally going to bring it to his kids as I did.
You shared something that I'll jump onto in a bit.
Okay.
Regarding what I experienced, but that's cool. That's cool.
Okay.
You know, the sharing of the blues was parallel. I'll get there in a bit.
You'll get there?
So
yeah.
If I forget, remind me.
Okay,
yeah.
I will. I actually went up to Imani afterwards, and I was like, are you running group therapy in here? And she just thought it was hilarious. She cracked up. I love her. I think she needs to move to San Diego.
Where is she at?
I want her to live next door. I don't know, but not here.
Too far.
Too far away. Jonathan, how was your summer?
Summer was good. So the last time we recorded, it was actually the beginning of summer, in our very short summer.
That's right. That's why I already had a dog.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that.
We recorded like about a week into it, or 2 weeks maybe.
We did.
And something I wanted to focus on during the summer was this notion of rest, because rest is important, and rest isn't. Self-care isn't necessarily rest, is what we talked about in the last episode.
Right.
Treat yourself ain't self-care necessarily. So I should treat yourself isn't self-care. Anyways,
it's separate.
But yeah, so I've been trying to lean into that, reading books on that, also just spending time, and I think that's something I want to carry into this school year. Now that the school year has started, having moments of kind of what Mark was talking about, making sure it's that rest isn't just for the weekend, rest isn't just for the breaks, but it's actually it's implemented within your schedule so that the burnout doesn't happen.
Right, it's a way of life. Right.
And the necessity of, like, you know me, we talked before. Yes. Like, for me, I've always been this concern that if we rest, like, the status quo will take over, and like that there is validity to that. For sure, like the status quo is bigger than us individuals, but if we just allow ourselves to just constantly push, we aren't able to dream newer ideas. We aren't able to imagine newer ideas. We will be swallowed up by the sea of stress. And so that doesn't make us, that doesn't help. We cannot change the system if we're burnt out.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear you say that.
So I'm still, what's the word? Something. Not decompressing, deconstructing that.
Deconstructing.
Something.
Sounds like you're kind of unlearning old patterns of behavior, if I could be so bold as to try to help you label.
That is for sure. That is for sure. And reconceptualize, and also how does it apply to my narrative? I think I've heard it so much from other people. I've heard it from both the common folk and also from corporations of what it means to rest. And so what does it mean in my own narrative? So that was my summer.
And it is frustrating when you hear people who are at the top of the giant machine that we work within as teachers say, like, do this, and don't forget to take care of your mental health, you know? Yeah. It doesn't feel as authentic.
It doesn't feel authentic. And also another element that it's been within my communities, or maybe adjacent to my communities lately, this element of a lot of people who do self-care feel like that that their self-care is a means of taking care of themselves, but they aren't thinking about the community outside themselves.
Right.
I'm not wording this right, but essentially just the fact that if I take care of myself, I can live a good life, but not thinking about those who don't have the means to take care of themselves. And like, for me, I've always felt that like, self-betterment, it shouldn't belong to just the individual, but has to belong to the community.
Right.
And so I'm trying, that's what I feel like I'm trying to constantly think, how does this not just apply to me? How does this apply to the greater good of everyone? And how do I rest in a state so that I am good, not just for myself, selfishly, but also good for myself collectively with everyone else? So,
absolutely.
yeah,
yes.
Just been thinking about that,
rolling it around.
So that was my summer, but
I like it.
But we talked about like the professional learnings, and actually my professional learning, my biggest one really was actually the second week of school. So I was invited to go to the AAPI, Asian American and also Canadian Pacific Islander music education gathering. And I had no clue what I was getting into at all whatsoever. I only knew 2 people who were attending. Genesis Santos, who I mentioned in episodes prior, and he's still a listener. Hey, Genesis, good to see you.
Hi. And Jamie, right?
Also, no, not Jamie. No, she was busy taking care of something else. But no, Darlene.
Oh,
Darlene
that's right. That's right.
Who we've had as a guest before.
Yes.
Hi, Darlene.
Hi, Darlene.
But everyone else I did not know whatsoever, and I had no clue I was getting into. But I felt like this is an important thing to go to. There aren't a lot of us at all.
It was a small gathering. It wasn't a conference. I keep wanting to say conference.
Well, yes, for sure. But even backpedaling, there aren't a lot of music educators that are AAPI.
Right.
And it was really cool, like to see. Oh, wait, there are less than I thought. There's Asian population is majority of the global majority, but as far as AAPI Asian music education teachers, there aren't a lot. In fact. One of the people, the person that was spearheading it, Dr. Vu, he's one of only 2 professors that is an API music education professor in the United States.
In the U.S.?
There's only 2. There's only 2. And then we had another person, Dr. Sayari, who was one of only 3 published API individuals who published an article in the United States. It's like, wow.
Are you one of them? Because you're published?
No, this is for music education with, I believe, in the doctoral sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to find the fine tunings. If someone wants to comment and relay what I'm missing, feel free to comment in the comments below or email me later on.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was small. It was intimate. There was only 20 people. We were over at Darlene's school.
Okay.
And so like even the setting itself was different than say a hotel or like, a conference center. It was in the place that you do the thing. Yeah. And like it was great. Like it was also, everyone was just sitting down. When people spoke their presentations, it was people were like, just said, feel free to interrupt me, and we did. We just like, what do you mean by that? It wasn't like I talk, you listen. Oh, now you can have a Q&A.
You're not in a room with like 100 people.
As I described it to someone, it felt like a symposium without a stick up its butt. like you had, it was very much people just share your thoughts. You can disagree, you can agree, you can expound. And like, there was even a couch where we all chilled on.
Yeah.
And it was really impactful. I was kind of nervous, to be quite honest, how I'd be perceived. Just personally, like I'm often nervous in new spaces to begin with.
Okay.
Hashtag Enneagram 6. But like also just
understood.
Like being part Asian, being part white. I've never been white enough in the white crowd. I've never been Asian enough in the Asian crowd. I've always been, and for that reason, I've always found a way to fit myself in whatever box I'm in. I will fit, but that doesn't mean I belong.
Sure.
I can fit in any box you give me, but I won't necessarily feel like good. And I was really nervous driving up north. And when I arrived, it was really cool. I met this guy, another guy named Jon.
Oh, perfect.
He's great. He's one of the few Canadian AAC. Oh, no, AC. Asian Canadian. Boo! Get out.
AACA.
No, Asian Canadian music educators. But yeah, he and I just struck it up, and then Genesis showed up, and then Another person I met, EJ, great guy. Like, these are all great people. All these are great people. And like, and I realized, oh wow, I'm in front of like a lot of big names that I'm not aware of. But like, for example, Alice Soy was there. Hi, Alice. I've referenced her a lot in this podcast. I need to get her on this podcast also. That'd be great. But yeah, it's like a lot of these people who have done the work, done good things, and they want to make change. They want to bring forth good things in their community. It was awesome stuff. To the point where I didn't need to feel like I needed to fit. It was, I was there. I was accepted. I was very much, I didn't have to explain myself. It was funny, actually, on so many of the presentations, there was a slide on what does the model minority myth mean, and we all, and like, after the third person went to Dion for us, she was like, I don't think we need me. You don't need me to explain this. So moving on. And the fact that we didn't need to explain ourselves was such a huge like lifting of burden. It's like, oh, okay, we can just talk. We don't have
like
to
people
explain.
already had the background.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, I live that too.
And also, I don't need to defend myself.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need to defend my reason to be up here. You understand who I am.
Yeah.
And it like after the first day, I was like, these are great people. These are really good people that are trying to do the things. We're just trying to do the things. And that's something that Alice and I both mentioned. It's like, you know, like, we're just trying to make things work. Because we were both saying, how do you, she does a lot. Alice does a lot. And like, and
Jonathan does a lot.
All of us there, we don't do a lot. Exactly. But it's not like any of us have it. It's like, we're just trying to do the things because we care about our communities and whatnot.
Right. Well, and that's why you go to these things. Really, you go to these things because you want to get better at your craft, but also because you need to find your people. You're going to find the other high flyers in these spaces. And that's what you found. I love that.
Yeah. It was,
you were like glowing in every picture. You guys were just so happy. It was so much fun to see.
It was just, also, it was just structured better because it was it was structured better. It was small. It was intentionally small. There was a moment where, like, for lunch, we made spring rolls. One of the host's sisters taught us how to make spring rolls, and like food in and of itself is communal. Yes. And to make food together. Yeah. It was like, it was very much bringing community amongst each other. It was intentional community. And at the end, we all wrote a song about what we were like, about our experience. And it's like, it was just, it was very uplifting, and something that in the end that really resonated with me is, like Dr. Vu mentioned, I'm paraphrasing here, but something that Alice has often mentioned is this notion that we are golden. Something that she's talked a lot about with her students and also in her PDs is we are golden, reclaiming this notion of yellow peril that, you know, being Asians have often been called yellow as a derogatory term, and reclaiming it as we are golden. We are not yellow, we are golden. And she's not the first to say it, but she's the first for me to be aware of it. And Dr. Vu was talking about how he was saying, like, I've always growing up, I've been looking for the gold stars, trying to get the check boxes, find the gold stars. And this place has kind of allowed me to find the gold in me. And it's like, yeah, that's good. Yeah. It's like, I can exist. I can belong. My voice matters. Yes. And another thing I mentioned, I was going to bring it up. One of the cool parts that I don't know how I'm going to bring it into the elementary classroom, but you were talking about singing the blues. Yeah, I was going to bring it back around to that. Yes, tell me the connection there. Dr. Sayari, Chris Sayari was talking about performative autoethnographies. Okay. And I'm going to botch this up because it was very dense but very powerful. And it's the notion of how do we create songs to represent who we are, not just an autobiography, but autoethnography, like even bigger to our own culture, not just a story, not just our story as from birth to death, but our cultural elements, the deeper roots of it, and how do you perform it? And a lot of times whenever people try to like have kids perform, it gets scary, but it doesn't have to be sung. Why do we always focus on this notion of singing when we can rap? It's okay if we rap. Yeah. It's spoken word, slam poetry is so good. And rhythm is music. Yes, rhythm is music. Yeah. And also, like, why not take pop songs and just place our own stuff on it? It's why not? Start there. Exactly. Yeah. Start there and then play. It was powerful. The whole thing was powerful. And yeah, all these people, it was only for about, it was two full days, and I left knowing each person and felt seen. It was really powerful stuff. That's good. Yeah.
That's good. You got your bucket filled.
I got my bucket filled on the second week of school.
I love that. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah. So if you are an Asian American or Asian Canadian music educator, first off, reach out. We exist. We love each other. We don't all agree, but we all try to support each other. So feel free to reach out to me. And also, like, keep your eyes out peeled for the next event. It's not gonna be next year, but we're seeing what's happening, and it's really good stuff.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if you're just out to pursue excellence and you want to talk to other people who are hungry to be excellent and to make the biggest impact with the most kids, talk to us. You know, we're looking for you. That's why we do this. That's why we keep setting this stuff up and making this podcast happen. We're looking for you. We want to find you. Let's talk about the school year.
Yeah.
Okay. 7 weeks in. Let's rewind here for a second. So oh, you know what?
Yes.
I would be remiss if I didn't talk about this. One of Jonathan's and my big projects that we worked on together is coming up with a plan for the things that we are releasing on the Patreon. There are already 3 things up on Patreon for our current subscribers who thank you so much to you who are helping us. You know what? There's not many, but already just having a couple, just already having a couple of you help us finance this is almost enough to cover our costs. And we're so grateful because we've been paying out of pocket to produce this podcast for the last 5 years.
5 years.
Oh my goodness. It sounds like such a big number when I say it out loud. It is. Anyway, so what you will find up there right now currently is I released a poster that I designed that is hanging in my classroom that is a all are welcome here kind of a thing. And it's just about diversity and inclusivity, and it's a safe space poster. So there's that. You will find a beautiful lesson and all of the visuals for Your Name is a Song, the book by
Jamila Tompkins Bigelow.
That's right. And Jonathan came up with an incredible lesson based on that, a wonderful song that he wrote. And then you will find my classroom rules and procedures and my day one stuff for introducing the ORF instruments and reinforcing rules.
And next month there will be a feature on different Latine performers for Hispanic Heritage Month. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And also, like, there are different tiers. We'll talk more when we do the hard left turn, but you can get cool merch. And
totally,
it's all good stuff. And also, you have a direct connection for if you want to. Yeah,
it's taken us a while to figure it out, but we've got a system now. We're really excited, and we want to get good materials to you guys too. Yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
Okay, first impressions of the school year. I want to say, I feel like after the first week of school, I kind of breathed a sigh of relief because it's like, this is the first year I've really felt like I have my feet under me since COVID. Really?
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not just me.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, my school year, well, what if I just separate it? So I feel like
you can separate. You've got a big update.
Yeah. So I gotta separate into like the spatial elements and also the teaching elements.
Okay, let's do that.
So the great news to those who've been following me since day one, I've argued and bickered and complained about this stupid desk that takes up 1/6 of my classroom. And the thing was,
bolted to the floor.
We have had schemes on how to destroy it accidentally.
Yes, I've talked about coming under cover of darkness with a sledgehammer and freeing Jonathan from his table, bolted to the floor.
There have been moments I've sat on the table and it's like, if this breaks, this breaks. But like,
I will not be sad.
I was moved to a different classroom, but it was to a new classroom that's being built. And so I told my principal, hey, if you're gonna move me, I'm gonna ask that you don't have a table set in there, so that way, like, I have more room for kids to move, dance, sing, and do all
like
the stuff.
An empty classroom, please.
And so I got it. So the good news is it's the same size classroom, but it's bigger, it's more spacious, and like I don't have to. I got my new cabinetry, I made it the way I wanted to. I've weaned off a lot of old material that I accumulated over the years, and it's like, this is not for me anymore. I know what I want and what I don't want.
And we're all hoarders. Let's just be honest.
This is
teachers
true.
are hoarders. Like, oh, I might need that.
Exactly. You never know. And even the stuff, even to the point where I'm at, I can probably still look at the stuff that I have. It's like, do I need that? Like I have these like.
If you haven't touched it in 3 years, you're probably not going to use it.
But what about the corrugated tubes that can make high-pitched noises based on how fast they twirl?
So challenge yourself to come up with something to do with them this year. Otherwise, toss them. That's what I say.
Or donate. We have we have a lot of new folks, new music teachers that I've been donating different things to.
Yep.
So the spatially, it's nice, but also it's been kind of frustrating, to be quite honest.
Okay.
So I was told that the classroom was going to be built by May of last year.
Okay.
That did not happen.
No.
It was
what? Delays? Are you kidding? With the construction project? This is shocking to me.
So I kept on asking my principal like every other week or so. I was like, hey, how's it going? How is the classroom? It's like, it's not built. It's not built. It's not built. It was not built until the day before school started.
Holy moly. Are you serious?
Yeah. And
so you couldn't move in?
No, I could not move in until the day before school started. Thankfully, I was given a couple of days so I can actually move stuff in. But also, they tore up the entire school. They tore up the entire school, not just for my classroom, but so that they tore it from my classroom all the way to the front gate, all the concrete, so that it's ADA approved.
Oh, yeah.
Those aren't where Disabilities,
Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yeah. Yes. So making sure it's a level, which I'm all for, it just wasn't done properly. That's the thing. Like they destroyed it. They reconstructed it, and then they left the custodians to clean it up, which was
oh, that's not okay.
What?
Yeah.
And then also they've destroyed our bathrooms as well, in because again ADA not approved.
Right.
I was overhearing a lot of the construction workers saying we shouldn't have destroyed it as soon as we did because the architect didn't design it until like 3 weeks ago from today.
Oh no.
And so
you've been 7 weeks in school with porta potties.
So we've had porta potties. They're nice porta potties. I want to say they are nice porta potties.
Oh man.
I will place that caveat. They have air conditioning when it's working, and it has running water. But
and they're not the kind that someone can tip, right?
Oh no, it's not those kinds. They're on wheels. It's actually for porta potties. These are rather nice ones.
They're like the trailer ones.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay, like with sinks and stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But it's just been there's been a lack of communication between the multiple gears that move, and we're having our 25th anniversary for our school in 2 weeks, and we're gonna use porta potties. And also the field's torn up, or it's been, I'm gonna be honest, it's been frustrating. It's been really frustrating that I recognized how big of a system each public education district is, and also working with contractors involves new people and all, and like just there's so many gears to make it work, to where I roll my eyes whenever people say, oh, that's blaming the district, and like it's bigger than that. It's way bigger than that. Like in some senses I have empathy, but like also in the other sense, this needs to be done.
Yeah, and you have to work there.
And like something happened.
It's a lot.
Something happened, and it's frustrating to the notion that like the gears are not matching. People aren't talking to each other. So
you've had joys and challenges.
Joys and challenges for sure.
Yes. And in your physical space.
In my physical space.
But overall, feeling good?
I am content. I'm pleased with the room. I like the space, and I'm always thinking further on, and like I know that the grass will grow.
Yes.
I know these porta potties will not be here later on. I know these things are just temporary, and once things have settled, I am really grateful for the room I have.
Yeah.
The only downside is across the way from the NPR where we do our choir rehearsals, but that's the only downside. And once I have a sink installed finally, my classroom will be full.
Yes.
So I'm looking forward to the space.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got an upgraded space.
No, for sure.
I have to brag for a second.
Yeah.
Because the upgrade to my space I'm so organized right now. So organized. It's amazing. Expound. I took a couple of days this summer and I made a Google slide deck that is a layout of my classroom. So every shelf, every drawer, I have a diagram. Like I have like north wall cabinets under windows is the title, and then I have a diagram and it's labeled with everything and it's searchable. So today my student teacher was like, hey, I was thinking I want to try something with rhythm sticks, and I was like, hey, we don't have them out right now. And then I searched the document. I'm like, hey, north wall cabinets second to the left. And he was like, oh my gosh, you're the most organized teacher I've ever seen. I was like, I know. My art teacher, though, she's tired of me bragging. She's like, oh my God, shut up. I'm like, have fun with your hoarder cabinets. So that's my physical space update.
Cool. No, it is nice to be organized.
Yes.
It is nice to.
It feels good.
Yeah, and like it allows actually the year to run way more smoothly.
Oh my gosh, so much more smoothly.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, when you know where stuff is.
Yeah. Like I know we know this is obvious, but it's hard to maintain that.
It really is.
It's hard.
Okay, so today I taught 120 kids, right?
Yep.
I had a lot of instruments out and they're kind of scattered a little bit. And I had to remind myself to go into my slideshow and search where they go so that they land on the right shelf again so my system stays in place.
Right,
so there's like making the system and then maintaining
the system.
Yes, they are separate skills.
They are. And like, for example, like before I got here to record, like as my classroom, man, this classroom is it's not clean. And I'm trying to make sure it's clean, but like the issue is I had 6th grade to 5th grade to 4th grade to 2nd grade to 2nd grade to 2nd grade, and then clarinets, saxophones had sectional. And right after school we had choir in the NPR, so across the school. And I come back like, okay, I got to record a podcast, but and so like everything wasn't put away properly just because of I wasn't prepared to have all my kids place things properly away.
Right.
So but maintaining the system is.
It's so hard and it's so important, and you have to train the kids how to do it.
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
because you ain't gonna. Let's be real.
I know. Like we're playing we're playing something from volume 4 right now, and it requires a B flat, and finding my B's and B flats has been a whole thing. And I thought I had my systems down, but this week has shown me they require tweaking.
I'm curious, like, so how do you organize your bars? Because I know I've seen different people do different things. Some people can do beside their instruments. I know Joshua.
Well,
Josh
I have a
Southard
mixture of
whole,
Sonar and Studio 49s, and so the Studio 49s, they don't fit inside. The accidentals don't fit inside the resonator boxes. So I have we have long skinny drawers that fit posters, and I just have one. Yeah. Yes, I have one that's just at the accidentals drawer, or a spare. Like if somebody finds a loose bar, it just goes in the drawer. Gotcha. So that's kind of how I do it. And then if they need to swap it out, that's where it goes. But it doesn't matter how many times you say a thing. 2 kids aren't going to hear it. Wait, really? And they're not going to do it.
My kids are perfect. I say it one time and they do it.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Nope.
Gold star for you. This is why you were Teacher of the Year.
No. Remember, I'm not looking for the gold stars anymore. I'm looking for the gold within me.
Okay, got it. Way to bring it back around. I like that. Hey, let's talk about our let's talk about the rest of it. So
I think similar to you, because I've been able to clean my classroom.
Yes.
I feel like it's put me in a headspace to be more mentally organized.
Okay.
And so I feel like similar to you. I feel like this is the first year since COVID has hit that I feel like I finally have my feet under my feet. I have feet. Yes.
You do have feet.
Yes. I feel like I have the ground underneath my feet, as you were saying earlier. And also I'm in this weird liminal space. So like, this is my 9th year teaching. Okay. And I feel like, yay. Yeah, I feel like I am both like, I'm not a newbie anymore. Nope. But I'm not a veteran. Like I'm definitely a seasoned teacher.
You're like a teenager.
It is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And someone who's actually a teenager who's actually stuck with the profession.
Yeah, it's true.
But also I question the fact that 3 of those years was through COVID. It's like, what was like? It was legitimate teaching, but it was a very different kind of teaching.
Yeah, but those years were worth like 2 each.
2 each.
Yeah.
Right. But so like this is the first year. It's like, okay, I have my systems. I know what I want. I know what my philosophies of teaching are. Like I remember my first few years teaching. I was like, what do I even want to do? Yeah. And like now I know what I want to do for the most part. I'm always refining, but like
of course.
But yeah, this is the first year. I know what I want. I have an idea of scope and sequence. I'm still trying new things. I'm leaning more into digital media, but like I know what I want, and I feel like also this notion of, because I recognize that I have good things outside of the workspace, and the workspace does not need to be my whole life and etc. Even though I do feel like music education is my vocation, at least currently. Totally. Like, when kids are poo-poo, it's okay.
It's not everything. You got more.
Yeah.
I like that.
And also, I think my years of experience, like, yeah, this happens.
Yeah.
This happens.
It's not you. Yeah. It's them.
Well, not just that, but also, like, they'll bounce back.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That's the thing.
That too. But I had a beautifully designed lesson plan just going very poorly yesterday. And I just looked at my student teacher. I was like, this is lesson number 1.
Oh, you have a student teacher? Okay.
I do. I was like, it's usually them. And he laughed because he saw it go beautifully like an hour before.
Yeah, it's a weird balance. Like, yeah, sometimes it's them. Sometimes it's also like I know when it's like, oh, I did not.
That was me. No,
But
totally.
A lot of times,
I'll own it.
A lot of times,
I'll own it when it's me, but it's usually them. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the way things are going. This is also my first time. Concert band is in 2 groups, so I have a returning group and I also have a new group. First time since COVID. The hard part is it's the first time ever where I have 2 groups and I don't have the help of another assistant. I usually like before I had some assistants with an outside group. Like they brought in a specialist to help me out. So I'm looking into that. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I am looking forward to this year. This year, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. My lesson plans are beautiful.
Cool.
Yeah, and they actually are written down. I've decided that's my big goal for the year. I'm really good at improvising, and I know enough, and I have enough in my toolbox after teaching for 16 years that I can just pull things out of my back pocket, and I enjoy that challenge. But I've been very careful to write everything down because I'm mentoring this year. I'm an induction mentor, and then I also have a student teacher. Might have more than one. We'll see.
More than one student teacher?
Not at a time, but in a row.
Cool.
Yeah, and I just want to make sure that I'm on top of my game. For them to make sure that I can download my brain.
Definitely. Yeah. I feel like if you know what's going on, it's great, but it kind of reminds me of like a lot of times chefs talk about you can have a great and complicated recipe, but if everyone else can't replicate it, it means nothing.
Exactly.
And eventually we won't be teaching in our schools.
Yeah.
Eventually there's going to be one day we won't teach in our schools and someone will take over our systems, and they can do whatever they want by all means. But if we create systems where they can see what we've done, create lessons where they can see what we've done, and then be inspired to continue that, pass the torch on.
Yeah.
Then
at that level of excellence.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Then there's success there.
Yes. Yes. That is my goal.
So beyond that, so we talked about how the school year's been.
Yes.
What do you want from this year? What is something you seek? If you said you're wanting to be more, have things written down, what else?
Yeah, I want to have things written down. I want to continue to feel like I am giving my absolute 100% every time I've got to give it, And also I'm looking for the joy in my job again. It's been heavy.
Yeah.
And I want to laugh with the kids again. And we've done a lot of that this year. I've already seen a lot of really happy glimpses of that. And I've seen a lot more motivation in them. And I'm really glad for that. I've done a lot more with, like every day we do a music puzzle, like a solfege. I'll have solfege on the board or I'll have a rhythm on the board. And the person, as I'm saying hi to them at the door, they work it out. And then the person who raises their hand and gets it right first gets a prize. I want to do more of that kind of thing, like encouraging them to try something hard and get it right, Yeah.
Sorry, you said something that made me laugh.
What?
You said the happy glimpses.
Oh,
you first said glances. Glance typically has that, connotation like looking side eye. It's like happy glances. Okay. I'm curious what that's all about.
No,
that's great.
Glimpse.
That's great.
No, like I know that our jobs aren't going to be sunshine and roses all the time, but goodness, it's been so hard.
It's been a lot.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah. How about you? What are your goals?
I mean, that's part of it, actually. Like, it's funny. Even before COVID, the first full year before COVID was the year my coworker passed away.
Oh yeah.
And there's been a lot of weight. A lot of moving, a lot of shifting, and I have felt like I'm in a space where I can teach kids to make sure that they are in touch with all of their emotions, not just the happiness, but also recognizing that the weight of the way the world exists, and it doesn't have to be. It's okay to own it. It's okay to embrace it. It's okay to it's okay to be in grief. But it was funny going back to the API music educator gathering, API Meg. Something that we there's a lot of topics that were pretty heavy just because of what we were trying to talk about, the lack of representation and just the loads of other things. But one of the things that really spoke out was to me were both Genesis's session and Alice's session, and I think part of it was because both of them are elementary music educators, but they focused on, and also Darlene's. I forgot Darlene's kind of did like a beginning session, but. Something that both of them leaned into was the joy. And we can talk about systemic problems. We can address systemic problems. We can fight systemic problems. We should do that. We need to. We need to address it. We should not shy away from it.
Right.
But we should also do it in joy.
Right.
We need, like, joy is our resistance. Like, really, like, our ability to be joyful, our ability for our kids to be joyful is their way to resist the problematic systems of this world.
Yes.
It's their way to resist the issues that they struggle in their life. And if they hearken into the joy while also recognizing the weight, they can be full human beings. And so my goal really is to, even though I don't want to shy away from the heavy topics, I do want to lean into the non-saccharine joy, pure joy, pure the goodness of what this world is, because we've suffered a lot. All of us have suffered a lot, and it's important that we dance.
Time to have fun. Yes.
It's time to dance. It's time to dance.
Ooh, I love that. I got goosebumps. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's a line in one of John Foreman's song called "Come Home." This is the meaning of life. We were born for the dance, not the fight.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah. So I want my kids to, like, not just dance, but also to create. So that's another thing I'm trying to lean into more. A lot of, like, my first couple of years, like, a lot of it was just like, let's sing, play, and like copy this piece. Let's do this piece of music that that has been passed on from tradition, by tradition from generation to generation, which is very important. Don't get me wrong, but also the kids' voice need to be heard, and they need to recognize that their voice is important and there's a weight and it matters. So have them create. And I recently did a workshop with SVUSD's Saddleback Valley Unified School District, and that was a big element of have the kids create.
Yes,
make them create. And so create with their bodies, create with their and also I want to lean into digital music more.
Good.
Have them create with items that even the items that they can use after they leave my classroom, because we can focus on playing the flute, and if you can afford a flute afterwards, great, but a lot of us can't.
Yeah.
But we all have access to a computer. Sorry, many of us have access to a computer. Let's learn how to use that.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to seeing what my kids' creations are
goals. This year. Onward and upward.
Onward and upward. Yeah.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
And our goals are for this year is to make episodes.
Yes. Yes, it is. And we're back with Spiccato after the break. I want to take a quick break and thank my husband, Bryan, who's been working behind the scenes producing these episodes every week on all of the platforms and on time. But you need to know that he is first a financial planner for Mission Trails Financial. Mission Trails Financial is a partner that seeks to guide clients in the journey to financial success. They believe that people need a financial advisor that aims to provide strategies for success. Mission Trails Financial helps people navigate investments, tax planning, and insurance. Imagine working with an advisor who isn't tied to specific brands. Mission Trails Financial has a fiduciary responsibility to act in the best interests of their clients by providing independent, objective advice. Their mission is to help clients accomplish their financial goals. As Joe Vitale once said, a goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. Do yourself a favor and set up a time to chat with Mission Trails Financial. Visit www.missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 to schedule a call. You'll be glad you did. We believe that leaning on professionals is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more information. And we're back.
Hey, but if you've been with us, you know we got something before Spiccato. We got that hard left turn. We've said it several times, but thank you all so much for these past 5 years. They've been awesome, fun years. Talking with you, Crystal. Talk with our friends in the past, our guests, and you listeners have been with us along the way. But friendly reminder, these lights ain't cheap, and also making sure these episodes are up on the SoundClouds is also not cheap. So it'd be great if you could support us on patreon.com/chclassroom. As we mentioned earlier, we have a lot of stuff up there, and also you can get some free merch up there. It's merch.
Not free.
It's through subscription, merch through subscription.
Yeah,
and all your funding goes back to make sure that these things are working and our community is thriving.
That's right.
But if you can't toss a buck our way, that's fine. What we can do is send us a review on Apple or Spotify. Hopefully one day something else will catch on. But 5 stars is the only thing that exists.
Yes.
And last I checked, B. Arbor was the last person who sent us a review. So I want to read someone's review.
We need someone to gush about how awesome we are, guys.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously. I appreciate the DMs you've sent us, but make it public. Make it public.
We do love our DMs. All right.
So yeah, make sure Also, go on YouTube. If you don't listen to us on YouTube, still go there, subscribe, and that will help the algorithms that are not friendly to us get into other people's ears and eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I have a Spiccato.
You got Spiccato.
It is spoons. My Spiccato is spoons. Plastic spoons, specifically. So what would you do in music class with plastic spoons? You've got a box of plastic spoons and you need a lesson. What are you going to do?
I do have a box of plastic spoons.
Yeah, I have many.
My spoon is too big. Those who know, you know. Those who don't know, you can YouTube it. You might be scarred for life. Anyways, spoons. I mean, obviously, the first thing goes to is like musical spoons.
Yeah, right.
But what can you do? What can you do with spoons? Well, I feel like you can make some iconic notation.
Yes.
Utilizing spoons. You could. What was that? Richard Lawton one with straws and paper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you like have
one straw's taw.
Two straws toddy.
Yeah.
But you do it through not communicating and just through their own learning, through own intuition. They follow, they kind of paste things together. So you can do same things also with spoons. Spoons and paper.
You could.
You could also use it for eating lunch because sometimes you gotta eat.
Because sometimes you're hungry or ice cream.
You got a freezer in this heat?
Yeah, you could come up with like what are all the things you could eat with a spoon, and you could make a word chain out of that, like cereal, ice cream,
cantaloupe,
soup.
There you have it.
There you go. And turn it into an ostinato. I like it. So I immediately went to playing the spoons too. Scots Irish girl here. You have to know how to play the spoons if you're Scots Irish. It's like a genetic requirement.
You heard it first.
You did. So last year when my body decided we were going to spend some time in the hospital, I was scrambling for sub plans. And I love the Okie Dokie Brothers. They're a bluegrass kid friendly band. Okay. And they're adorable. And they have a couple of documentaries and they're up on YouTube. They're free. So there's one where they hiked the Appalachian Trail and they wrote songs along the way. And they interviewed all these musicians along the way and like met families that like play folk music together. It was so cool. And there's a part where they have a guy playing the spoons. And so I left my sub that, and then I developed a bunch of lesson plans and I left spoons and paper bags, and they got like 3 weeks worth of music classes out of that, and it was awesome. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to be putting those sub plans up on the Patreon for our Patreon subscribers. They're really good, if I do say so myself. They're really well put together.
Keep your ass peeled.
Yeah, all you need.
I'm sorry. I know I use that phrase a lot. That's such a weird phrase.
It is a weird phrase. Ooh. I know. It's like, ugh, I know.
Do you have another idea? What's another phrase?
It's fine. It's fine. We're just going to deal with it. Just like accept it. Lean into the weird. So anyway, I did learn though, don't get clear spoons like this because the kids turn them into glasses. And that never would have occurred to me before, but it happened in every single class.
Every class, okay.
Every single class.
So let it be known. Don't do it.
Don't get clear spoons. Get white ones.
Yeah. Opaque.
Opaque, yeah. Once they can't see through. I was like, oh my gosh. Why did I not see this coming? How do they still surprise me like that?
Do you know why?
Why?
You didn't have plastic spoons to see through, that's why.
Okay. I guess.
This is a bad joke. It's been a long day because they see through this. Why didn't you see this?
Oh, understand. Got it.
Come on.
Okay, I don't know. It wasn't that good, but I'm trying.
But I'm gonna sell it hard. It was hilarious.
No, it really wasn't. Okay, you guys, we have a round.
Oh, but before that, let us know. Do you have any ideas?
Yeah. What would you do with a spoon? Round of the week. I have a really fun round of the week for us this week. This is from Dave Thaxton. Hi, Dave. Over in Reno, Nevada. Dave is in the middle of writing a round book, and so he has been generous enough to send some rounds to the Hive Mind for guinea pigging for his round book. So this is one, and it is inspired by the first day of school, first week of school, and the kids come with brand new sneakers. Okay. So they're like bright, they're shiny. You know how they have like the whites are super white and then the colors are super bright, but then all of, it doesn't take all that long. And then they're brown and they're stinky and they're gross. And so he said that it is that it's the you'll hear it anyway. We go from light to dark.
I'm trying to find this. You sent it to me.
I did. I texted it to you.
Oh, I think you have
Go
it.
back in
There
your
we are.
text.
Got it. Yeah,
okay, here it is. I'll try to sing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we'll sing it,
And we'll sing them,
and then we'll break it up. First day of school, brand new sneakers, shining bright as the morning sky, whites as bright as springtime linen, hanging on the line to dry. But how quickly begins their demise against all hopes and wishes. 6 months later, gray, brown, and dingy, smelling like a pile of rotting fishes. First day of school, brand new sneakers, shining bright as the morning sky, white as bright as springtime linen, hanging on the line to dry. But how quickly begins their demise against all hopes and wishes. 6 months later, gray, brown, and dingy, smelling like a pile of rotting fishes. First day of school, brand new sneakers, shining bright as the morning sky, whites as bright as springtime linen, hanging on the line to dry. But how quickly begins their demise against all hopes and wishes. 6 months later, gray, brown, and dingy, smelling like a pile of rotting fishes. First day of school, brand new sneakers, hanging on the morning sky. First day of school, brand new sneakers, shining bright as the morning sky. Gorgeous.
Lovely. You know,
we only made up some of those words.
That's every year I feel like I'm focusing on a different kind of shoe, which is not good actually, but
like for yourself or for the kids?
For
yourself.
I have these yellow yellow's my favorite color.
Oh yeah.
I love these yellow shoes, but man, well, first off, the build is not good, but also, they get dirty.
Mm-hmm.
They get dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So I empathize.
Oh yeah, it's for sure.
Yeah.
So, the first day doesn't last that long. So I was thinking maybe we should change the first part of it. First day of school, or
like keep on falling. Second.
First month of school. I don't know. Like.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. So you might
Aren't
not see
these
them.
so cool? Brand new sneakers.
First week of school.
Or aren't these so
aren't
cool?
These so cool?
Aren't my shoes cool?
Folk it up.
Yeah. How would you how
change it?
How are you gonna use it? I don't know. I'm not asking you. I'm asking the listeners. Tell us, what do you think of the sneaker round? Got any feedback for Thax over there? Let us know.
Uncle Dave. He wants to know your thoughts.
Yeah, our Orf dad. It's our Orf dad, guys. All right.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
It's great to reconvene and talk.
Yes.
But if people want to talk to you, Crystal, how can they talk to you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mrs.Pridmore. You can find me at crystalpridmore.com.
Awesome. And you can find me on all the socials at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman, on Instagram, Twitter, on Threads.
It's not Twitter anymore.
I don't care.
It's
I
X.
don't care. That's the stupidest name ever.
That's why I'm not on Twitter anymore.
So I don't blame you. I recently came and was like, is it okay here? Is it okay? Are you doing this? But yeah, so on all the socials, also on youtube.com/Mr. Seligman. Also, find me on my website, Jon Seligman, not Jonathan, Jon Seligman, it's shortened down, .com. And you can email us. You can find us at CH Classroom on all the socials. And you can also email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thank you all so much.
Have an awesome year.
Best of luck.
Kick it off with all the energy. You're killing it. We know you are.
Bye.
Bye. The Chaotic Harmony podcast is a joint project between Crystal Pridmore and Jonathan Seligman. You can find us online at chaoticharmonyclassroom.com. You can email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail and let us know what you think. Give us feedback about what you would like to hear in future episodes. We're on all the socials. Find us on facebook.com/chaoticharmonyclassroom. You can find us on Twitter at @CHClassroom, Instagram at Chaotic Harmony Classroom, and you can even find our episodes on YouTube. Chaotic Harmony is the name of our channel. Special thanks to Bryan Pridmore for his help with production and equipment. www.pridmoria.com. My husband just said he can't see Jonathan's massive pecs. And we can't deprive the internet of man chest.
That's the most it bends. Are we good? Internet, are you
Is this enough Jonathan man chest for you?
Oh, God, I don't even know what to say. Like, I can't. It's just, what direction do I lean in? Is my question. I'm always like, do I lean into the awkward? Do I lean into the? I don't even know.
Whatever feels right.